Greetings, Taku Faithful. Thank you for joining me again this week. Once again, it's Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, and I'm here to kick off my new Game of Thrones Character Spotlight segment right here on Otaku Assemble! Weekly, and throughout the course of Season 4, I will be bringing you all weekly videos discussing some of my favorite characters from the Game of Thrones HBO series. Now, this video came about when I was thinking about extra content that I can provide for the Game of Thrones TV room on Beamly.com, which I'm one of the official reviewers for. And so when I started thinking about, what else could I do? What else could I provide? I thought back to my favorite hero, favorite villains videos that I did for Game of Thrones back in the summer of 2011. Guys, if you haven't checked those out, please feel free to check out my favorite heroes, favorite villains playlist on the YouTube channel, and you'll find those where I did review videos about Ned Stark and Tywin Lannister. But instead of just sort of dividing this up by hero or villain, since we know that at this point in time in the series there are a lot of gray characters, I just decided that I would spend the course of this season sort of just spotlighting some of my favorite characters, and seeing as how I missed my video for last week and I'm actually doing 2 this week, I thought this would be a good time to get the dearly departed characters out of the way first before I talk about some of the characters that are still current in the story. So I'm going to kick things off with discussing my second favorite character in the entire series. Yes, even up to season 4, he's still number 2 in my book, and that of course is Khal Drogo. Khal Drogo immediately was one of my favorite characters when I first got introduced to the series during season 1. And one of the main reasons why I like him so much is because he was one of the first characters that I was able to recognize that Martin was sort of breaking the trend, breaking the mold, that he was going against the archetype in developing the character. And this is what I mean. When you look at the Game of Thrones series, it's clearly a medieval fantasy epic, and that makes for a lot of archetypal characters to appear. And Drogo, at first glance, is pretty much the stereotypical savage warlord. That's even how he's introduced to us in the series, with Viserys talking to one of his advisors, when they were telling Daenerys about, okay, this is the guy you'll be marrying, it was the same deal. But I think it might have only been 3 or 4 episodes, Drogo, we found out, no, there was more to him than just that. Now, yes, granted, he is a warlord. He is. I mean, he's a Khal. He's the chieftain of a Khalazar, which is a Dothraki tribe. And the Dothraki, they are a warrior-centric culture where their Khal is their greatest warrior. They even have the whole thing with the braid, where the longer your braid is, that means you've been undefeated for that long. And whenever a Dothraki is defeated in battle, they cut off his braid. Well, Drogo, his braid's all the way to his knees. You know what I mean? So yeah, he does still hold that up. He is still revered. He's still feared as a great warrior, but at the same time, throughout the course of the series, we really do see him fall in love with Daenerys, and it's genuine. Hell, consider this. If Drogo, first off, if Drogo wasn't, if he actually wasn't falling for Daenerys, then, when she took an interest in pretty much her and Drogo's sexual life, when she started doing things that she would please him, he would have never paid it any mind. Yeah, sure, it would have amused him for the time being, but he never would have thought twice about it if it wasn't genuine. And then also consider this. Halfway through the season, that's when we knew for a fact, no, this is something real, because not only did Drogo kill the assassin sent after Daenerys and pretty much declare war on the 7 kingdoms for trying to kill
his Khaleesi and the mother of his child, he even killed Viserys, her abusive brother. Like, yeah, you know, Drogo was like, no, this is my woman, and anyone who transgresses against her has to answer to me. And Daenerys, you know, sort of took that and ran with it, because that's how she was able that's how she was able to pretty much exercise the authority that she had throughout the majority of season 1, was because she was, you know, the Khaleesi. She was Drogo's wife. But, and then, I mean, dude, even Drogo's, like, you know, great scene, you know, the great scene that we saw before, you know, Drogo fell ill, when he has the battle with one of the other Dothraki warriors, and it was all because of a disagreement between that guy and Daenerys, because, you know, that guy wanted to rape the women of the tribe that they just took over. And Daenerys is like, no, you know, if you want her, take her as your wife, and, you know, do it legitimate. And Drogo even told Daenerys, like, hey, this is what we do. This is a part of war. I can't deny my men the spoils of their victory. And then even after, you know, she was trying to reason with him, Drogo was like, look, dude, look, my wife wants you to marry the chick, so you either do it or you stick your piece in something else. And when that dude challenged Drogo, he was like, oh, hell fucking no. It's like, I'm not having this. And Drogo even fought him unarmed. You know, Drogo took out his knives, dropped them. It's like, I don't need him. I don't need him. And I'm sorry, that death, that fate, to this day, every time I see that scene, when Drogo takes the dude's sword, turns it on him, slits his throat, and then reaches in his neck and pulls out his throat, and then just tosses it on the carcass pile. Every time to this day when I watch that scene, I always say, fatality, Drogo wins. Because it was awesome. It was awesome. And yeah, and just in the, you know, in the spirits of this series, they took Drogo away from me in the first season. You know, when he was poisoned by the witch doctor, and then brought back to life pretty much as a vegetable, and had to be mercy killed by Daenerys. I mean, it was a really heartbreaking end to a relationship that I don't think we as viewers expected to end that way. You know, I mean, I don't think we expected a genuine romance to blossom between Drogo and Daenerys, and then we certainly didn't expect it to end that tragically. So, but all in all, that's why Drogo was hands down like one of my favorite characters, second favorite. Because of the change in what could have easily been an archetypal character, what they were able to develop with him in terms of making him more human, but at the same time still preserving the reputation that he has for being, you know, the great warlord and warrior and whatnot, you know. So this video is for you, Khal Drogo. May your soul ride forever in the Nightlands, man. You were fucking awesome. And Jason Momoa did a fantastic job portraying him. It was freaking epic. So that's pretty much going to wrap up the first in this Game of Thrones character spotlight. I want to thank you all for joining me again this week. And in the comments below, guys, let me know what you think about Khal Drogo. Because I know there's some other Drogo fans out there. Please feel free to share all that in the comments below. Keep an eye out. Tomorrow morning, I will be uploading my next GOT character spotlight video, which we will be talking about the King in the North, Robb Stark. Yes. So until next time, this has been Larry Williams, OAW Commander-in-Chief, signing off. Peace.